The largest battleship ever built by any nation went on exactly one offensive mission. It didn't come back. Today, it is sitting more than 1,000 feet down in the East China Sea, broken clean in half, the two pieces lying hundreds of meters apart on the ocean floor. Most people know the Yamato sank. What I want to know is why it split in two, what condition it's actually in down there, and why almost nobody has ever gone back to look. Some of what I found, I had to check twice before I believed it. History. The Yamato was Japan's answer to a problem it couldn't solve any other way. By the 1930s, Japan knew it could never outbuild the American Navy ship for ship. So Japanese naval planners decided to build battleships so powerful that quality would make up for quantity. The result was the Yamato class. Commissioned in December 1941, the Yamato was 863 feet long and displaced over 72,000 tons fully loaded. It carried 9 18.1-inch guns, the largest naval guns ever mounted on a warship. Each shell weighed over 3,200 pounds. The entire project was classified at the highest level. Shipyard workers were kept from seeing the full hull. Japan wanted the world to have no idea what it had built. And for most of the war, the world barely got to find out. The Yamato spent years as a fleet flagship, rarely seeing combat. So rarely used that sailors nicknamed it the Hotel Yamato. That changed in April 1945. The battle. By early 1945, Japan was losing. American forces had landed on Okinawa, and Japan's navy had almost nothing left to stop them. So Japanese command devised Operation Tengo. The Yamato would sail toward Okinawa with a handful of escort ships and no air cover at all, beach itself, and fight until destroyed as a shore battery. It carried only enough fuel for a one-way trip. This is the part that's hard to get past. Everyone involved understood this was not a mission designed to succeed. It was designed to die with meaning. On April 7, 1945, American carrier aircraft found the Yamato in the East China Sea. Nearly 400 planes attacked in waves. Torpedo bombers and dive bombers over and over for close to 2 hours. The Yamato had almost no air cover to answer with. Bomb after bomb, torpedo after torpedo tore into the hull. The ship began listing hard to port. Crews tried counterflooding compartments on the opposite side to keep her upright. It wasn't enough. At 2:23 in the afternoon, one of the Yamato's ammunition magazines detonated. Witnesses reported the explosion was so violent it was seen and heard more than 100 miles away, and the mushroom cloud rose thousands of feet into the sky. Of a crew of roughly 3,300 men, only about 280 survived. The Yamato, and the era of the battleship it represented, ended in under 2 hours. Present-day wreck status. For decades, nobody knew exactly what the wreck looked like. That changed in 1985, when a Japanese expedition located and filmed it for the first time, 40 years after it sank. What they found explained the story the survivors had already told. The Yamato lies at a depth of roughly 1,120 feet, split into two major pieces separated by a debris field. The bow section rests upside down. The stern section lies some distance away, twisted and torn. Between them is scattered wreckage. Hull plating, one of the massive gun turrets, propeller shafts, thrown clear by the force of that final explosion. Here's the detail that answers the why did it break in half question. Naval historians examining the wreck concluded the magazine explosion was powerful enough to snap the hull structurally in two before it ever reached the seafloor. Unlike ships that break apart from water pressure on the way down, the Yamato was already broken by the blast itself. It hit the bottom in pieces, not as one hull that later split. That single detonation did more damage to the ship's structure than the entire 2-hour air attack that preceded it. Why has nobody salvaged it? So why is it still down there, exactly as it landed? The depth is the first obstacle. 1,120 feet is far beyond recreational diving range, though it isn't nearly as extreme as the Bismarck or the deep Pacific wrecks. Technically, reaching the Yamato isn't the hardest part. Raising a 72,000-ton hull that's already been torn in two by an explosion is a different problem entirely. There's no structurally intact vessel left to lift. Any salvage attempt would mean recovering scattered wreckage, not raising a ship. But the deeper reason is the same one that protects almost every warship of this era. Around 3,000 men died aboard the Yamato in a single afternoon. Japan considers the wreck a war grave, and it carries a weight in Japanese memory that goes beyond most other ship losses. The Yamato has become something close to a national symbol, representing both the technological ambition of the wartime navy and the futility of the mission that ended it. Japanese expeditions have returned to film and document the site multiple times since 1985, most notably in 1999 and again more recently with updated sonar mapping. But documentation is where it stops. No government or private group has proposed recovering material from the site, and doing so without Japan's consent would violate both international norms around war graves and Japan's own stated wishes. There's also simply less to gain. Unlike an intact battleship, there's no single hull worth preserving as a museum piece. What's left is a debris field, an important historical record, but not a recoverable object. The wreck is expected to continue slowly deteriorating, but at that depth and in cold water, its remaining structure and the surviving artifacts around it should persist for a very long time. Conclusion. So that's where the Yamato is, broken in two on the floor of the East China Sea, exactly where a single detonation left it in under 2 hours on an afternoon in April 1945. It was built to be the most powerful battleship the world had ever seen, and it was sent out on a mission nobody expected it to survive. Didn't. It went down fighting for a war that was already lost, and it's been resting in pieces ever since. If you enjoyed this one and want to see more ships like it, let me know in the comments and I'll keep making them.